All right, what if we have the expression a to the m divided by n? Well, if they're both positive integers and m divided by n is in lowest terms, then a to the m over n is equal to, now remember the bottom number is the root, so it's the nth root of a to the m power. And we can nicely do that as the nth root of a, the whole thing, to the m power. So both of these are going to be the same. Now, again, if a is less than 0 and n is an even integer, then it's going to be an imaginary number because we're going to have some kind of nth root of a negative that's even, and so we will have an imaginary, so it's not a real number. All right, so here we're supposed to write each expression in radical notation and then evaluate the expression by hand if possible or when possible. All right, so here we're going to rewrite that as the third root of a negative 8 squared. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. Now, being a third root, so if we think about 8, that's 2 times 2 times 2. So that's going to be a negative 2 times negative 2 times a negative 2. And the third root of that's going to be a negative 2. Negative 2 squared will be 4. What about the fourth root of 10 cubed? Well, 10 cubed is what, 1,000. The fourth root of 1,000, well, that's just the fourth root of 1,000. We really can't calculate that because it wants us to do it by hand in this case. What about these? All right, so we're going to have the fourth root, because again, the denominator is going to be the root, the fourth root of 81 to the third. Well, the fourth root of 81 is going to be 3, and then we take that to the power of 3. 3 cubed is going to be 27. Okay, so again, what we had to do is we had to think about what is 81. 81 is the 3 to the fourth, if it'll stay written here, and then that was to the 3/4, if we just want to keep it as that. Well, that 4 cancels that 4, and it's just 3 cubed, and that's 27. What about this one? Well, that becomes the fifth root of 14 to the fourth. So take the fifth root of 14 and then take it to the fourth power. Well, that's really about as far as we can go by hand because, we don't want to go any further with that. It's going to be too complicated. And so that's where we'll stop with that one. All right, so like here's technology. So this is kind of what I was talking about before. So when you do evaluating expressions with rational or fractional exponents, be sure to put parentheses around your fraction. For example, most calculators are going to evaluate 8 to the 2/3 and 8 to the 2 over 3 differently. And accompanying figure shows what happens. So if we take it 8 to the 2/3 with parentheses around the 2/3, we get 4. But if we take 8 to the 2/3. That's what it's doing is it's doing this part first, 8 squared, so 64 divided by 3 gives us the 21 and a third. So that's the difference. This one is actually taking it to the 2/3 power. This one's taking 8 squared and then dividing by 3. So that's why you really have to pay attention when you're doing this. So if you're getting incorrect answers when you type it in your calculator, most likely you're not putting the parentheses in the proper places. All right, so let's stop there and we'll come back for some more.